Hi, my name is Heather Schumacher, and I wanted to let you know about an amazing active learning exercise that I do with my students using QR codes to help them understand the components of GDP. The typical problem I had was that GDP was a hard concept for them to really wrap their minds around and to truly see how it applied to things around them in their everyday lives. I wanted them to have a solid understanding early on as to what the four major categories were and what each included and excluded, so that it would be easier for them as we delve deeper into each of these as the semester went on. This exercise gives students an example to refer back to. It is simple and effective, but a very different type of exercise that is memorable for my students. It uses QR code technology that is everywhere around them, from business cards to parking garage reminders as to where you parked on multi-level parking structures, and most like it because it lets them use their cell phones in class. They get to socialize as they do this project, and the room becomes a buzz with talking as they compare answers and look at the different examples that I've provided them. They see pictures, and pictures say 1,000 words, and it helps them to remember things easier. And then they match those pictures to the categories that they've done as a homework assignment. During the process, I hear students tell me about how interesting this is, how different it is, and they tell me after class how much they enjoyed it. On course reviews at the end of the term, it's one of the common things that I see come up under the activity section of what really helped you learn in this class. It'll be something that'll show up there frequently. I also have students on the end of term exams when they're talking about the components of GDP and trying to give examples of it. They refer back to these pictures that they saw during this exercise, so I know that it's had a lasting impact on them. So this exercise, if I do it as an in-class, face-to-face session, the first class session I go over the components of GDP as I would normally give a lecture and present it from whichever methodology of textbook I'm using. I'll bring up what QR codes and the various ways we use them, and I have them download one of two apps. One is the QR Reader, which is the one I prefer because it's self-contained and does not open up a new browser each time you scan a QR code. The other is iEnigma, and many cell phones, if you just use the phone's own picture setting, will scan a QR code and give you the information. But I prefer the QR Reader, so I have them download that. Then I give them a homework assignment. It's a worksheet. As you can see, it has them fill in the four major components and names each of the subcategories and gives a definition as to what they are. Then in class session 2, as they come in, there are these QR codes laying all around the classroom. And I let them know that they can use their cell phones and go around and scan all of the images. And as the images pop up, they're going to match them both by name and by number, because I have a little number next to the QR code, as to what it is for each of those components. One last piece that I happen to add to my session is that I use some graphs that I've put together through FRED, the Federal Reserve Economic Database, and I have them indicate how large each of the components are for consumption, investment spending, government spending, and net exports based on those graphs. And I also have them then break down consumption based on durable, non-durable, and service items to let them really truly try to understand how big consumption is and how important it is as part of our GDP, and why economists, politicians, etc. try so hard to influence us as consumers and are worried about our consumer spending levels. If it's an online class session, then they simply read the textbook and listen to my class notes that I provide for them. And then they do the homework assignment. Then I'll have the QR codes available for them to pop up on their computer screens. They scan them, they record their information, and it's that easy to go for that version of it. This assignment is so easy to do, any instructor can do it. The first thing you would want to do is to create the handout that's tailored just to what you're doing and how you teach and the textbook that you're working with. The second thing you will do is you'll want to go on to qrstuff.com and to create your own QR codes, or you can use the ones that I use. I can give a link to those. If you want to create your own QR codes, the first thing you want to do is go out and find the pictures that you're wanting to use for each category. You can find them from your textbook, you can take pictures yourself, you can go online and find pictures from internet sites that have them as downloadable pieces for you to use without copyright issues, or if you do use them with copyright components, just make sure you cite them. And after you find all of those images, save them in your computer, and then one by one you'll be able to upload each image into this qrstuff.com. It's very easy to use. The basic level is for free. After you've done that, you'll need to print them off and cut them up so that you can distribute them around your classroom. Then just explain to your students how you'll be doing it, and you're good to go.